Welcome to another edition of the Noles Podcast. I am your host, Gregory McCoy. This podcast is by a fan for fans. I am not a journalist. I am not a reporter. I am not an insider. I do not work for a website. Today is December 31st, 2019. New Year's Eve. Happy New Year. I got a couple things I want to talk about today. First of all, the Sun Bowl is today. They play Arizona State. I might do a little breakdown on that. I haven't decided yet. I decided to do like a New Year's resolution thing for Florida State football. It's like a top 10. And I got my usual 2-player breakdown, 1 offensive player, 1 defensive player, and then I'm going to rank each conference in terms of who's the strongest and who's the weakest, and then who has the better product, the NFL or college football. So let me go ahead and get started. New Year's resolution for Florida State. Number 1, more parking. Number 10, more parking at Doak Campbell Stadium. I've been there several times. There's limited parking around the stadium, so I wish they would do more to provide parking spaces for fans who come to the games. It's been a long time since I've been to a game, but the parking really hasn't changed. So that's number 10. Number 9, stop being cheap. Boosters and Florida State administration. They've given Coach Mike Norvell some support staff. I think they need to add some more people. If you're truly going to join the elite in college football, you have to spend the money. And to Willie Taggart's defense a little bit, they wouldn't even let him get like a defensive backs coach. They was basically being cheap. I don't think they wanted Willie Taggart in the first place. I think that's why they kind of lowballed him on his budget for off-field staff and other things. And ultimately, I think that's why he put Hornibrook out there, so they could lose and they would fire him, and so he could get his buyout. I think he'd wanted out because he just felt like they was being cheap on purpose, so they could fire him. So that's number 9. Number 8, play the best players. Everybody keeps talking about Asante Samuel is a great corner. I just don't see it. Every time I look at him, whether I'm watching a live game or I'm looking at stuff on YouTube, this guy's getting burnt. And if Stanford Samuels was still staying, I would say the same thing about him. I feel like Isaiah Bolden is a better corner. AJ Lighton is a better corner. Renardo Green is a better corner. I even think that the kid Demore Tate, a recruit who just signed, is better than Asante Samuel and Stanford Samuels. So play the best players at every position. So that's number 8. Number 7, change the number font. Those numbers that they switched to back in, 2014, they're hideous. I wish they would go back to the old number font on the jerseys. They are going to give the white numbers back, but I wish they would go back to the old number font. That is number, what number was that? Number 7. Number 6, Get more running backs. You currently, for this Sun Bowl game, you have no scholarship running backs on the roster. That is just despicable. That this program, Florida State, does not have a scholarship running back on the roster. So Mike Norvell, please get some more running backs. You did get the guy from Texas A&M, but he can't play in this game. He might have to sit out next season. Number 5. That was number 6. This is number 5. Burn all the black Florida State uniforms. They are hideous. Please never wear those again. Every time you wear those black uniforms, we get totally demolished. That's number 5. Number 4, get more pass rushers. We really don't have anybody that can get to the quarterback. Janoris Robinson is probably your best pass rusher, but he's not going to get you like double-digit sacks. He makes splash plays here and there, but he's not consistent. And we don't know what Joshua Kando is going to be after his injury. Josh Griffiths can play, but high school and coming to Power 5 is, you don't know how a player is going to transition from high school to college. So we got to see what's going to happen with Griffiths. That was number 4. This is number 3. Build the football-only facility. Jimbo Fisher asked you to build that. It's now 6 years ago, because he seen what they were doing in the SEC, and he knew if he was going to compete with those schools that he needed that football-only facility. And you should have built it 6 years ago. Now you're realizing that you should have built it, but you were being cheap. And in today's college football, you can't be cheap. So that was number 3. Number 2, get more offensive tackles. All the tackles on the roster suck. They can't block anybody. So whether it's JUCO, graduate transfer, or recruiting, you need about 6 of them. And just let them battle it out to see who the best 2 are that can play left tackle and right tackle. Number 1. That was number 2. This is number 1. New coaching success. He has pretty much completed his staff. I don't know if he's going to keep Telly Lockett. I think you should keep Telly Lockett because he has connections to South Florida. But pretty much his staff is completed. I don't really know anything about any of these guys except for like Dugans and Odell Higgins. So I'm not going to quote stuff that other people say on their podcasts. I mean, I'm just like a wait and see type of fan. I'm a fan. I'm not like a guy that breaks down coaches. So I just wait and see what the product is on the field, and then I can tell you if the guy is a good coach or not, because you obviously gonna see the game. And if your players are not in the right position, then pretty much the coach sucks. He's not communicating or teaching effectively. So those are my 10 New Year's resolutions for Florida State. Next, I go to my player breakdown. And my first player is going to be Raymond Woody III, safety. 6 foot, 198 pounds. This is what I wrote about him after watching his stuff on YouTube. Very athletic, sure tackler. Fundamentals are good. Can play cornerback. Can play either safety position. Son of a coach, so he knows the game very well. Needs to get stronger. Father will no longer be coaching at Florida State. He might transfer. Ball skills need work. Backpedal and redirect needs work. NFL comparison, Eric Berry, Kansas City Chiefs. Raymond Woody III really didn't get on the field that much, and I really don't know why, because Nasruddin was playing pretty well, and Cyrus Fagan was playing well, but he got hurt. So I thought Raymond Woody could have got in there, and we could have seen what he could do, but they never put him out there. I don't know if he was injured. I couldn't find anything on the internet, but this guy can play. Saw him a little bit in the spring game. I like what he can do on the field. Next player is going to be Christian Armstrong, offensive guard. This is what I wrote about him. Very strong player, better run blocker than pass blocker. He's 320 pounds. He's 6'4", 320 pounds, but he looks like a basketball player, in my opinion. Has trouble with speed rushers. Agility is okay. Once he locks on to a defender, he will move them. If pass blocking technique can improve, he can be a player. I see him as a left guard. NFL comparison, Lincoln Tomlinson. This guy's a red shirt freshman. I don't know why he couldn't beat out Brady Scott. Obviously, Dante Lucas is the most talented offensive guard we have. So I don't know if Randy Clements, the previous offensive line guy, just had his mind set with Brady Scott. But from what I seen of Christian Armstrong, he looks like a decent player. And just hopefully whatever he's doing wrong, not to get playing time, he can correct that. Because he has all the tools to be a contributor on this team. Next, I wanted to rank the football conferences from, in my opinion now, from weakest to strongest. And I has 10 conferences, 5 Power 5, and 5 Group of 5. So, number 10, the Sun Belt. Number 9, Conference USA. Number 8, the MAC. Number 7, Mountain West. Number 6, AAC. Number 5, the Pac-12. Number 4, the Big 12. Number 3, the ACC. Number 2, the Big 10. And number 1, the SEC. If you guys disagree with that ranking structure, let me know in the comments. I don't like the SEC at all. I feel like they get the benefit of the doubt, but the majority of the schools in that conference spend big money on football, and the Big 10 does too. The only program that does it in the ACC currently is Clemson. You got a couple of schools in the Big 12 that do it, and in the Pac-12, you only have Oregon at the moment. USC was doing it when they had Reggie Bush and all them guys, then for some reason they just stopped because all of the top guys in California are leaving. So they don't get the top guys no more. It's no surprise that the Group of 5 are 6 through 10. And I feel like out of the Group of 5, the AAC plays the best quality football, but you do have some good teams in the other Group of 5 conferences. So again, if you have any comments about that ranking structure, let me know in the comments. Who has the better product, the NFL or college football? I wrote several things, and I'm going to read. I usually zigzag and read each one, but for this episode, I'm just going to read straight down. So I'm going to start with the NFL. These are their things that they bring to the table for their product. Better players. 32 teams. Super Bowl is the ultimate goal for any football player. Better playoff format. Free agency. Hashes are spread out. Pressure to get paid. Every game is televised. Players get endorsement deals. 53-man roster. Less alternate uniforms. Everything is settled on the field. So that's what I feel like the NFL brings to the table. Some positive things, some negative things. And this is for college football. College football is more emotional. College football has more pageantry. There's 130 teams in FBS, which gives you more choices for games. No salary cap. Playoff format sucks. Hashes are closer together, which allows for more big plays on the field. If you are a top college football player, there's pressure on you to go to the NFL. Limited chances to be on TV. Not every game is televised in college football. More players trying to take your job. All your major programs bring in top level recruits every year. So if you're not like Trevor Lawrence or Travis Etienne or some, Isaiah Simmons, there's always somebody coming in trying to take your job. Currently can't make money off image or likeness. I know they're in the process of trying to change that, but currently a college football player cannot make any money off their image or likeness. More alternate uniforms. Committee picks playoff teams. So that's my comparison between the NFL and college football. Let me know what you think about today's episode. I want to thank everyone for the support. I started this on December 1st, 2019. I'm over 100 subscribers. I really do appreciate it. It's available on YouTube. It's available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. And thank you for your support. And as always, go Noles.